everybody? I'm John Presapio, joined along as always with Brian Sarnelli, Pat Lavin over on the board. Hey, episode 6. How we all doing today?
You know, I think we're getting the hang of it, and I think after doing 5 full episodes, it's always nice to completely introduce a brand new element to the pod, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna add something that's gonna really take Station to Station just to a completely different level. And that is going to be our soundboard that is going to be operated.
What the hell is even
that? It's going to be a soundboard operated by John. He got this iPad that's just loaded with a shit ton of sound bites. And I got to tell you, I'm not happy that you're going to be the one with all the power. You know,
neither am I.
Pat and I don't have the ability to cue any of these. This is just going to be you freestyling. Do you have a couple you want to showcase? I know you probably want to save some for special moments, but do you have any in particular?
I mean, we have some. Show you've heard a few, but you know, to get the idea, the excitement of the soundboard, a little DJ air horn. Now, here's the thing. Now, if you're listening at home, you have no idea. Not only am I in charge of the soundboard, but I don't hear the sounds when I press the sound on the soundboard. Both Pat and Brian can hear everything. I am totally in the dark here. So if I hit something, I may not even know that I hit it. And, you know.
That's what she said.
Just like that.
Can you give us a little like Mets and Yankees taste?
Yeah,
like
sure.
the Yankees hit a big home run in the middle of the podcast. What happens? Okay.
It sounds like he's like in the pod with us right now.
And Pete Alonso comes up to bat. Come on, he hits a home run. He does something. He hits. There we go.
Okay.
So a nice little twist to add into the pod.
What if John like the? Oh wait, what? Sorry, what? Sorry, what was that last one?
What was that? See, I can't hear. I can't hear what's happening.
Yeah, I think you know what you pressed, but
Look at this guy.
I don't know.
I just think we should probably get to a point where John's so comfortable with the soundboard that John does a full episode without saying one word.
That would be.
It's just
That would be amazing for a lot of reasons. If we can get through an episode without me saying a word.
I think a lot of the listeners would really appreciate that.
Yeah,
just complete silence. How many different options do you have on that board? Just so we're aware.
Oh, let's see. What do we got here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24, 30. I got 48 here right now.
My God.
I can go more. Yeah, it's quite a bit.
It's
hard to keep
dangerous.
track of everything on here.
We should have started you with like 5, 6 sounds max, and then you have to prove yourself to earn
That's
those.
That's what I tried to do. I send it to the guys over the weekend, right? I'm like, all right, guys, I think we've been working on this for a few weeks now. So it finally came to life over the weekend. We're excited. I sent it to them. I have, like 9 on here. I just break in, loosen the fingers a little bit.
That's what she said.
Get going.
He's getting hot. He's heating up.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
We're getting comfortable.
Heating up.
He's finding his flow.
But no, I send it to him. I say, oh, add this one, add that one, add that one. And now you're saying, well, why do you have so many? So you can't win. You can't win.
You just keep adding another one and another one and another one.
Yeah, just like that.
There you go. I was trying to bait you.
This is
yeah.
All right. My goal is going to be not to really bait you, and I want you to be able to operate that board naturally.
What she said.
Oh. I feel like we're definitely not even going to talk. The talking part of the show is definitely going to be over, and it's literally just going to be setting up the sound bar. But all right, that being said, I know you probably have a lot of negative things you want to talk about the Yankees. I probably have a lot of negative things.
I needed that laugh. I'll be honest with you. I needed that laugh after what has been one of the worst weeks of baseball.
Before, John, I know we're both going to go down really negative rabbit holes.
Yeah.
But I want to point out something that is a positive, because I don't think we're going to have a lot of positives here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fun time of year as a sports fan.
Sure. It's the second best time of year.
We just had the NFL draft, so you get a little bit of NFL rookie training camp. You get a little bit of that mixed in. You have NBA playoffs. You got NHL playoffs. You obviously have Major League Baseball kind of in like a full swing and like a regular rotation again. So I love this time of year. This, as a sports fan, this is great. We've had some crazy playoff matches just throughout sports. Like, you have a team like, I mentioned it a couple episodes ago, that I was rooting for the Bruins, and you have a team like the Bruins, best regular season record in hockey history, and they lose to an 8 seed in the first round.
Right.
And the NBA playoffs has basically been all upsets. Like, the lower seeds are beating the higher seeds pretty consistently. So NFL draft for me, always a fun time. I love the NFL draft. It's always exciting, no matter what. If
and
you
look,
are a
did you
fan,
see how beautiful it looked? They had it out in Kansas City.
Kansas City,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
They did a great job.
Best pick. Not saying the player, but the best pick in the draft was that kid who called the Jets pick.
Yeah, he was good, huh? That was good.
Absolutely fantastic, absolutely electric.
Good story too. That was cool.
Like, your team could absolutely blow, and the NFL draft is fun for you. And if your team is absolutely loaded, like, you could grab another piece where, you feel like that could be a guy who helps out your team. So, a fun time to be a sports fan, a bad week to be a Yankee fan, a bad week to potentially be a Mets fan. But
yeah,
I just wanted to kind of lay that like top layer on. As a sports fan, this is prime real estate. You got a lot of fun playoff matches in hockey and baseball, hockey and basketball, and hopefully your baseball team is doing better than ours are.
Man, geez, again, to your point, the second best time of the year. I mean, October though, you beat October. You got, NFL games going on, actual NFL games going on. You got playoff baseball. The NBA season's just starting up. You have hockey underway. To me, that's number one right there.
What about March Madness? You a March Madness guy?
March Madness is good. I still think, it holds a back seat to what's going on. I actually kind of continue. I say March Madness time until like the end of the playoffs here. I'll lump that into one time span, because you have really, March Madness, you have opening day. You have, the start of the NBA playoffs, the end of the regular season, start of NHL playoffs, end of that season as well, too. But then it, transitions into the playoffs for both. So I'll continue it on, then you have the draft, I lump that one season. And I think that's number two.
What do you think the best day in sports is? Because I actually think I'm not really a college basketball guy.
Yeah.
But I think the best day in sports is the first day of March Madness.
I disagree.
I think the first day of March Madness is just a fucking blast.
You see, I disagree. I think you got two choices. I think it's either the obvious Super Bowl Sunday, or two, you may disagree with me on this, but I'll fight you, Master Sunday. Master Sunday. Pat,
you want to weigh in
event.
Here? Best day in sports.
This might be like, I don't even know like how to like say what kind of day it is, but it's got to be like one of the days that like are like currently happening now, where it's like you have the overlap of like the NFL draft, you have playoff hockey, you have playoff basketball, and then you have the beginning of the MLB season. It's just like all the like four sports are kind of combining into one kind of small time frame that only happens during the year. I think you can pick and choose any one of these days. Like, post NFL draft, when you see your hyped up rookies getting their jersey numbers and meeting the press, and then like you watch your hockey team play in the playoffs, your basketball team play in the playoffs, you watch your baseball team get a nice little easy win in May. It's like, that's what I prefer. I prefer quantity over quality for my pick. Like, Super Bowl is like, yeah, fantastic, but it's just like, it's one game out of all the sports that happens on one day. It's like, I like some quantity.
Credit to you for not saying the Hall of Fame preseason game.
Oh, fuck,
Pat you don't really know this about him, John.
I love preseason.
He loves preseason anything. He loves the summer league tournament.
Why?
He loves preseason football. Like, everything preseason, this guy fucking loves. He's obsessed with.
Vegas summer league basketball is like that's what gets me up in the morning.
He's addicted to it.
I love. There's nothing better than just dude. I mean, I know you're giving me that look, John, but there's just nothing better. That small ass little gym is just like
better.
They wear like the rec league like jerseys they wear.
A game that means something. That's
game
not
one.
better.
I mean, hey, it means something for those like fucking fringe players and those rookies.
Game 1. I mean, of a Major League Baseball season, game 33 is better than a preseason
dude, you have
game
to
of anything.
This upcoming year, we'll sit down, we'll watch, we'll become Vegas Summer League fanatics, just like me. All right.
Well, yeah,
I'll get you on the hype.
Is there like drugs involved in this? Is that why? It's
there could be, but it's like not for
right.
no. It feels like a drug.
I don't want to critique you, but I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for you to use the soundboard early on. And
there's a few I've let slip, and I accept that.
So I mean, I expect early on to have these type of misses.
I'll be honest with you. You asked me something a little while ago. I had no idea what you asked me, and I just kind of rolled with it because I was looking at the soundboard. From there on,
all right. So, I mean, I appreciate the honesty. Yeah. Hey, why don't we talk about something that I know you care about?
Yeah.
And since both teams are doing poorly, this is basically a pissing contest to see who wants to talk first about the devastating baseball being played on the other side of the boroughs. So I'll let you go first. What's happening in the Bronx?
Well, like I said earlier, I needed that laugh today because like many people last night. Now, I'll tell you who I really feel for. If you're a Rangers fan, if you're a Rangers fan and a Yankee fan, last night was absolute hell on earth for you. Now, I'm a Devils fan, so I got a little bit of relief last night. But the New York Yankees. Let's talk about the New York Yankees.
First place New York Yankees, right?
The New York Yankees are in sole possession of last place on May 2nd. Sole possession of last place, right? Now, we've talked in depth about the Yankees issues going on, early on. I did in my instant reaction. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out on our YouTube channel, S2 Station Pod. The Yankees have a lot of problems. Now, going back to their last series they won was against the Angels, and that was Thursday, April 20th. They lost their series to Toronto. They lost the series to Minnesota, who they never lose to Minnesota. They got absolutely embarrassed in a 4-game set in Texas before coming home. And listen, you have to sweep the Cleveland Guardians. After what you've done the past week, that road trip, that disaster of a road trip, you had to sweep Cleveland, all right? You win 2 out of 3, that's all right, but you can't be all right now. You can't be all right because Tampa Bay is running away with the division. Now, we've said 1,000 times, you're not going to win anything in April. So don't worry about stats April, and don't look at standings in April. But you can certainly lose a division in April, and the Yankees are on their way to doing that, okay? You have the best division in the sport right now that you're in the American League East. You have the Tampa Bay Rays, who are the best team in the sport right now, running away with it. Now, there's a lot of people that say, hey, they're going to start coming down to earth here, right? Look at their schedule. Look at who they've played. And that may be, but the Yankees are in a place where they can put themselves out of hopes for the division by Thursday, May 18th. And let me explain. This weekend, the Yankees go to Tampa. They'll play Tampa Bay. In Tampa, the hottest team in baseball, in their division. They come home for a quick 3-game set with Oakland. Then they're still at home for a 4-game set, once again with Tampa Bay. And then they immediately follow that with a 4-game set in Canada against Toronto. So by Thursday, May 18th at 11 o'clock p.m., the New York Yankees may be having their funeral for the American League East. Now, you have an expanded wild card, and that's going to help the Yankees. But let's be real. We're looking at the American League East. 4 teams may make the playoffs out of the AL East this year, which is insane. It's absolutely insane. The Yankees got to be, by no means am I saying they're going to make the wild card, because right now, they don't look like they're even going to make a wild card. And here's why it's problematic. Now, Aaron Judge has landed on the IL, right? He's going to be on the 10-day IL at a minimum there. So you're without Judge. Now, Bader came back early. We were saying May 5th. He came back tonight on the 2nd. Nice little surprise a few days early. But Harrison Bader isn't going to save your season. Not when you have Stanton on the IL until June. That's if everything goes right. Carlos Rodon today experienced, guess what? Yet another setback. This may end up being one of the biggest busts free agent signings in recent memory, Rodon. All right? He had a great press conference. He said everything right. But since that press conference, he has done everything wrong. Again, I don't want to say it, but I'm getting Carl Pavano vibes all over again with Rodon. All right? So now you know how much of a problem it is for you as the Yankees right now. And you come home, a 3-game set against Cleveland. Tough team, but you can beat them. Now, last night, Domingo Germán has thrown 88 pitches. He's pitched 8 1/3 innings, and he lets up only his second base hit of the night. He lets up a single. Only the second hit of the night at 88 pitches. And here's where I have a problem. Aaron Boone walks out to the mound, and he is greeted by a ruckus of boos throughout the entire stadium, including in my home. Because we all knew.
You say you were booing him from your couch?
I absolutely was. As ridiculous as that is.
Were you saying like Boone?
I was, you got to be fucking kidding me right now. He's at 88 pitches, and we all knew who was coming in. That's
Clay
the thing.
Holmes, baby.
We all knew who was coming in.
I love Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes might be my favorite Yankee.
I can't stand Clay Holmes. How many times do I have to say that I can't stand Clay Holmes? I mean, again, so we all knew, everyone knew that the game was over as soon as Boone walked out to the mound. And this is Boone over-managing. And it was a must-win game in May, which it sounds like I should be locked up, in a loony bin for even saying must-win game in May. But that's where we are. That's where we are. We're in must-win games in May. Are you kidding me? So what does he do? He goes out, he takes out Germán, he brings in Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes makes a total ass out of himself. He makes an error as soon as he gets into the game. He can't find the strike zone. And then you got to bring in Wandy Peralta to try to bail him out. And you know what? Listen, Wandy ended up giving up the lead, walked the guy. But, I can't put all that fault on Peralta. And that's not me just making excuses for him because of Clay Holmes. But, Holmes didn't do him any favors having to come in that spot, all right? So here comes Holmes, lets up the lead, tie game. Peralta lets up the go-ahead run. So we go down to the bottom of the ninth. Do the Yankees have any fight left in them? They go 1-2, and guess who walks up to the plate? I shit you not.
I hope it's Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks walks up to the plate.
I might be a Yankee fan after this week.
Aaron Hicks, because you can't script this. You can't script this. This is unbelievable. Hicks comes up, gets surprised, strikes out on a fastball in the strike zone. He just swings out of his shoes like he's never seen a fastball before in his life. I mean, here's my problem with the Yankees, and this is my problem with a lot of people. It's the Yankees, these guys, they're handed these roles with the team in perpetuity. It's like there's nothing, and they're awarded without merit. Okay? Clay Holmes. He was given, an audition at closer last year when Chapman was on the IL. And he came up, he did a great job. He got the role at that point. But then his second half, he gets hurt, he comes back, and he was terrible. But he keeps the job. Then we come to this year. How many times we got to see Clay Holmes cost us a game until we take the job from him?
You guys should trade for a real closer like that Chapman guy in Kansas City.
Yeah, he's doing great, huh?
He's hitting like 103 on the gun. He looks good.
I can't
looks
believe
clean.
Brian, I can't believe I'm saying this, and I mean this seriously. I'd take Chapman over Clay Holmes right now. I mean, it's gotten insane. And now here's the other thing. In what world in what world does Aaron Hicks deserve a job? Seriously, he should be DFA'd. And people say, oh, well, when these guys come back, he's out. I don't care. Screw it. DFA him now. I'd rather have friggin' Franchi Cordero playing for the team than Aaron Hicks.
He's not much better right now.
He's not. But you know what? At least there's been more of a ceiling than Aaron Hicks. I know what I'm getting with Aaron Hicks.
Pat, you want to know the best part about all this? Because this is a Yankee fan who has been spoiled with winning. And I know John himself hasn't seen like a shit ton of great Yankee teams. He's seen really good Yankee teams. He's seen a World Series himself. But the Yankees right now are 15-15. This man is talking to you as if they are 5-20.
Yes, because 500 baseball in May ain't going to cut it. Okay?
I agree. And but the division, 500 stretches are going to happen.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They have no life to them. This team, it's not just the record, okay? Because maybe if there was a little more life, maybe if there's a little more common sense, more accountability, and more repercussions for actions on this team, I'd be a little bit better. But the Yankees have shown you they don't give a rat's ass. They don't give a rat's ass about how you perform. If you're making a certain dollar value, that's your spot. You are untouchable because it is a business. This is a business over a team.
All right, so fix the Yankees. So give me 3 moves the Yankees can do right now that fixes them.
This roster, I don't like the roster. It's the same thing for years. How many years do we have to say this lineup is too feast or famine? I mean, Jesus Christ, I've been talking to you, going back to your last show. How many times did you have me on as a guest? And I had to complain and rant about how this lineup is feast or famine. I mean, we're going back pre-pandemic at this point. And it's the same crap, just in a different wrapper every year. Again, and now Stanton, here's the other thing. Stanton is a great postseason player. He's shown that he's been a great postseason player. During the regular season, he's streaky as can be, and he gets hurt far too often. All right, now here's the thing. I'm not saying Stanton's a problem. I personally don't think it's a great roster addition on Cashman's part. But I'll look the other way if Stanton performs in October and he can carry the Yankees to a World Series or help them get there. Then I excuse Chapman on that whole contract. There's a lot of people that criticize that one. And while I see the fault in it, there is upside. There's significant upside there. But he's got to show me something. He's been great, but he hasn't pushed him over the edge like, an Alex Rodriguez in 2009 did, right? A-Rod deserved every single bit of that. But the Yankees show you no life, no anything.
Yeah, I'm losing you though. I want you to tell me how to fix them. You are Brian Cashman. What are moves that you would genuinely do to fix this? Well, you say they have no life. How do you get life?
Well, here's the thing. Right now, you're handcuffed. There's nothing you can do right now because with the additional wild card spots, more teams are in the race and they're in it for longer. So kiss goodbye, even as rare as they were, those May and June trades. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get something at the end of June. But the Yankees need so much help. Internally, they're not going to get solved. What needed to happen is needed to be addressed during the offseason. And they weren't. Seriously, Andrew Benintendi, how do you not bring back Benintendi? For what he got with Chicago, the Yankees didn't want to go that high. Who gives a rat's ass? And you know what? I'm tired of Hal saying you shouldn't need a payroll of $300 million to win a World Series. You know what? That's true. But your general manager has shown you he has no idea how to do that. He has no idea how to win a World Series without spending money. He can build some great pieces. He can trade, here and there and get you some chips. But the problem with Brian Cashman is while he can make these deals, he constructs the roster with so many flaws that when it's time to, improve and wheel and deal, you're SOL. I mean, you can't fill all the holes, and they have so many glaring holes.
That's what she said. Hit the button. Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
That's what
you're
she
right.
said.
They
Thank you.
deserve that.
God,
They deserve that.
yeah, take away the fucking soundboard if you're not going to use it.
Oh, but, maybe the Yankees play better. I get a little more fucking involved in this. But God damn it. This is, and I've never been a Cashman detester. I give Cashman a lot of credit. I've given him a lot of credit because of the trades he's pulled off. But these teams, they're going out during free agency. They're improving their teams in free agency, and they're getting these little, plug-in pieces where their teams are so good and they may be missing one thing, and then they're going out and they're getting it. The Yankees don't do that because they're at a point now financially they feel, well, they can't get that one-off piece, that one final piece, to polish the nice car. They won't do that because they're cheap. So then what happens? We hit the trade deadline and we got to give away our farm system to bring in someone who may not even be an ideal choice, but that just happens to be who's available. You couldn't bring back Benintendi, really? A contact hitter, a left-hand bat, and good in the field? I mean, Christ, you have Trey Turner available at shortstop. I realize you want to give Volpe a chance, but maybe package off Glaber. Look at Turner at third base. But no, we're holding on to Josh Donaldson because we're giving him a lot of money because we had to trade Gary Sanchez and the Gio Urshela, to take on IKF and Josh Donaldson. These are the things I'm saying. Your GM can't do it without spending money, but he won't spend money because you have a mandate that they can't go over a certain amount. Meanwhile, Steve Cohen on the other side of town is handing out bills left and right. The Yankees are broken. There needs to be change. And listen, Aaron Boone needs to go. Again, I've never said a bad word about Boone. I've never once said he's got to get out of there. But this team, he's a great player manager, but it's time to bring in someone who's going to light a fire under their asses. They need someone to take control. The players are in control in this clubhouse. Aaron Judge, as the captain, he's got a lot more say as captain than Derek Jeter did when he was captain under Joe Torre. I'll tell you that right now. All right? Because Jeter, even though he was captain, he respected Torre. And Torre, it was like a godfather figure to him. But there's not that same level of respect with Aaron Boone and his players. Okay, that's not existent. So who's in charge here, right? Amongst the players. I don't know. But Aaron Boone is very uninspiring. It's time to get rid of Boone. It's time to bring in someone who might manage a little bit more than their gut, who can read a room when a pitcher's at 88 pitches in a must-win game that you've put yourself in May with one out in the ninth inning, to stay away from the guy in the bullpen who's been struggling in that spot. I understand Holmes needs some work lately, but it's not the spot to do it. You waited that long, and Herman was that good. It's not the spot. Let Herman lose that game at that point. Let him tie it up. Then you can bring in Holmes. The Yankees, they need to get rid of Boone. Next up, it's time for Cashman to go. I'm sorry. It's here. It's done. Now, Brian Sabian's in the front office. He took a role. Omar Minaya is also in the office, but I'd stay away from Minaya at all costs. I'm sure you're licking your chops over there just even hearing that. I
was hoping that you'd be like, give me Omar. Be like, oh, go ahead.
No, you got Brian Sabian in that office, and I think it's time to start paying attention to Brian Sabian and what he's doing around there.
All right, so 30 games into the regular season, you're ready to fire the manager, fire the general manager, potentially, we're calling must-win games in May. Is this going to be
stuck with Cashman right now?
Is this going to be Yankee baseball for the rest of the season? Am I going to have to deal with this? Like, what happens if they go? What if they go on a 10-game win streak? Are you still going to feel this way?
Brian, this is going to get worse because all right now,
they go on a 10-game win streak and they're in second place. You gonna be like this?
All right, listen. Yankees are up 4-2 right now in the.
Look at that. They're going to be a game over 500 after tonight.
And the Rays already won tonight, so that's great. But after this Cleveland series, again, they go to Tampa Bay. They got a 3-game set in Tampa, and then they got a 4-game set against them the next week at home, and then a 4-game set in Toronto where they never win. I mean, this could be done. This division could be done.
Well, we got
In
a
2
we got a
weeks.
lot of show to do. It can't be done in May. You have to.
That's not up to me. This is the worst, Brian. This is the worst Yankee team I've seen since that 2015 team when they had Kevin Youkilis on the roster. That to this day still stands as probably the worst Yankees team I've seen.
Pat,
But
the
this-
2015 Yankees went to the
right there.
playoffs, by the way.
Okay, duly noted. Thank you.
Yeah, just so you know.
Not 2015. That was the year they went to the wild card with.
Yeah.
They've lost against Dallas Keuchel and the Astros at Yankee Stadium. It's right. 2013 is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say 2015 Yankees still went to
No.
the playoffs.
It was
Still not
the
a
year
good-
it was the year they had Youkilis. It was a joke. They turned that triple play.
How do you?
That was the
First
only
off,
highlight.
I feel like I have to do this just out of respect. How are you? How's the wellness check for
I'm not
John?
good.
I know how the Yankees are, but are you all right?
No, I'm not good.
Not good.
No. My blood pressure must be through the friggin' roof. Now, like I said, after last night's game, as a Devils fan, the only saving grace was that they, won that game 7. That was great. But if you were a Rangers Yankee fan, oh my God. Can you imagine?
You gotta check on those fans today.
Oh, jeez.
If you know anyone who's a Yankee fan and a Ranger fan after last night, just send them a text, ask them if they're all right.
Yeah. I mean, now, after that rant, which I could say so much more. I
don't think we have enough
how,
time.
How lost this team is. But I'm not. I'm going to turn it to you. Because you're also, you're not happy.
I'm not.
You shouldn't be happy.
I'm not happy. I feel like, though, and I never thought growing up being a fan of the Mets, I always felt like I was like the crazy fan out of all like my friend group when it came to being like a baseball fan. And I grew up with a lot of Yankee fans. And I don't know. I feel like I was always just like the butt of everybody's joke and whatnot. And obviously I think Steve Cohen has helped bring me out of that darkness over the years.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm not happy about the Mets, but I'm not happy about the Mets for different reasons than you're not happy about the Yankees. So here's the thing. Let's just give some overlay for everybody listening at home. If you haven't really been paying too much attention to the Mets this last week, just honestly, a really weird week. First time under Buck Showalter that they have lost 4 games in a row. Didn't happen at all during his first year, which was last year. You lose the last 2 to San Francisco. You come home, you have Monday off to kind of get reacclimated to being back on the East Coast. The Washington Nationals come to town and they beat you 5-0 in game 1. So if you want to look at that game and be like, you know what, just got off a 10-game road trip and then on the West Coast, they came home stale and they got their ass kicked in game 1. I could have been like, no problem. I get it. It sucks. Whatever. Game 2, they get their ass kicked in game 2. They scored 1 run out of those first 2 games against the Nationals. Then they get in an all-out dogfight in the last game of the series to just prevent themselves from getting swept in a 9-8 ball game. Everybody under the sun, I feel like, with the Mets is just going down with random injuries. We get somebody back, somebody else goes away. And we're just, we haven't been, oh, now he's got the sounds. But we just haven't been full strength all year. And that's fine because even not being full strength, the Mets, like I said last week, like they're okay. But the problem with that is I think the Mets are still okay. After everything that's taken place, I'm not like doom and gloom. This is absolutely horrible. Mets got rained out in the first game in Detroit. They are 16-3. But the Atlanta Braves come in after the Washington Nationals. And it was supposed to be a 4-game series in New York. And I can't think of a series that I dreaded more ever in the last 3 years as a Mets fan, because we were playing like shit. We had guys going down left and right. The pitching matchups for this series just looked absolutely horrendous against the Mets. This just looked like the Atlanta Braves were going to come into Queens and beat the living shit out of us for 4 games. That's what that looked like. Luckily for the Mets, there was a lot of weather around the New York City area this week, and it bailed us out, where we only had to play 3 games instead of 4 games against Atlanta. We lose game 1 4-0. The game ends in the 5th inning. But honestly, the way the Mets were swinging in that game, they're lucky that game was only 4-0 because, you look at that, you're like, all right, they only played 5 innings, whatever. They lose the first game of the doubleheader against Strider. And honestly, I was very proud of the Mets' effort in this game because I thought Strider was just going to kick the shit out of us. And they lose this game 9-8, and they fought all the way down to the last out. Tough loss, but, when you have Strider going against some random fucking guy getting a spot start, and you end up losing by a run all the way down to the 9th, and you kind of got to Strider a little bit too. I'll take that. And then they salvaged the series a little bit with taking the last game against Atlanta. The thing that I'm struggling with right now with the Mets is that I still think that they are just okay. They're okay. The Mets right now are in the last spot of the wild card. Like, I don't have a doubt in my mind that the New York Mets are going to be a playoff team. I really don't. I feel fine with saying that still Mets will be a playoff team. But to think that we can even hang with Atlanta is foolish. It is so foolish. And that's the thing that I feel like Met fans might be like, oh, come on, it's May. But how do you look at that fucking Atlanta Braves team as a Mets fan and think you have a chance against them? They are better than you everywhere. That lineup just straight out fucks. And it's all homegrown guys who have been there for a couple years, and it's guys that aren't going anywhere. And the Braves do, you just complimented. Well, you just went against your Yankees saying the Yankees refuse to get those missing pieces in the offseason. I'll tell you a team that doesn't fucking do that, and that's the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves are just like, oh, you know what? How can we make our team better? We're going to go get fucking Sean Murphy from Oakland and just get a stud catcher, and then we're going to lock him up on one of these fucking black market voodoo deals that the Atlanta Braves pull off. And they're going to be like, cool, he's going to be here for 5 years. Matt Olson's going to be here for over 5 years. Fucking Acuna is going to be here for over 5 years. Austin Riley's going to be here for over that time. Albies is going to be here forever. And it's like, all right, their offensive core is locked up for a fucking century. And then they just start handing out crazy deals to their pitching staff. Spencer Strider gets his deal. These guys are not fucking going anywhere. Our offense cannot hang with Atlanta. So you got to pitch better than them in order to beat them. And when guys like Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander haven't even pitched back-to-back games, granted, they're about to do that for the first time, but we're going into May 3rd and 4th when that's about to happen. And like we said, you can't lose a division in April. I'm sorry, you can't win a division in April, but you can lose it. And when these teams get red hot and start putting some distance on you and you start losing the division at the end of the year by a game or two, it's all these games in April are the reason you didn't win this division. So it makes me a little nervous. I think the Mets are going to end up being a wild card team. And, at the end of the day, John, we kind of saw it for the first time with this new playoff format. You just got to make the playoffs and you got a shot. You're not in that one game stupid shit anymore. You're going into a series no matter what. Mm-hmm. So as long as you have two horses like Verlander and Scherzer, if they can survive the year and pitch well, I know that's a huge if. That's not me saying we'll be all right if they can do it.
Didn't we say the same thing last year though too, when it was just DeGrom and Scherzer?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same mindset to some degree though, where it's like if you can make the playoffs and these two guys are healthy going into the playoffs, you have a shot at winning a world championship just because you have those two arms. And everything else then has to be magical and fall into place, and all those all the good luck and good fortune has to happen. But the Mets have to be a wild card team if they can't win this division, obviously, to make the show and make the tournament. And I think they have a shot still. So I'm not pessimistic. The Mets are 16-13. I still feel okay about them. But for the first time seeing Atlanta this year, I don't feel like the Mets are as good as they were last year. I felt like the Mets were really, really fun to watch last year, where they were just consistent and professional and they would just grind you out. We haven't hit that stage of Mets baseball yet. I will say the exciting part is it looks like Brett Beatty and Francisco Alvarez are starting to look like pieces, and Buck is starting to play them consistently. and Brett's getting big hits, and Francisco Alvarez is the reason they won the last game against the Braves, but Beatty homered in the first game of that doubleheader against the Braves. These young kids, if they can get up to speed and turn into something quickly, I might change my tune and think that the Mets are more than just okay. Like if these guys can join this offense and out of nowhere, you're getting crazy production from catcher and third base, along with Alonso, McNeil, Nimmo, Lindor. Out of nowhere, you feel like, all right, these Mets are going to be a force because they can come in and knock you around. Right now, I still feel like if Alonso and Lindor have a bad game, you're going to beat the New York Mets. And that tone needs to change. And that changes with these young kids coming up and injecting life. But we'll see. Because right now, it looks like we can't pitch. And without Alonso and Lindor, we can't win. Mm-hmm. That being said, I'm not as negative as you. I still feel everything is on the table.
Well, you're in a slightly better position than
I agree with that.
I am.
But like, I'm just telling you, like, I guess it's kind of almost how you feel with Tampa. Like, how the fuck are we going to touch the Atlanta Braves? How are we going to beat the Braves? Unless something crazy happens. But like, and you don't want the Braves to get injured to beat them that way. And like, I don't want to sleep on teams yet either. Like, the Marlins are playing solid ball, and they're pretty scrappy this year. They're 16-13 as well. And the Phillies, Bryce Harper, I don't know what kind of fucking random voodoo magic he was drinking, but after 160 days, Bryce Harper's coming back from Tommy John surgery.
But he's not even doing rehab.
But he's going to play first base.
Yeah.
He's going to DH and play first base, position he hasn't played. So with getting that guy back down in Philly, who knows what that's going to do for them? I mean, Philly's just one of those like fucking grimy cities that's just going to grind the shit out of you and be annoying and be assholes. And this is basically just going to fit right into their mindset and mantra. So this makes me a little nervous about Philly too. So Mets are going to be in a dogfight all year. And it is what it is. And I mean, the Yankees are going to be in a dogfight too. You got the Baltimore Orioles, who are fun and scrappy. I said this about the Red Sox before the season. I don't think the Red Sox are going to be good, but I do think the Red Sox are going to hover around that 500 mark, and they're gonna annoy you when they beat you. They're going to be in last place around 500, though.
All right, but I don't think the rest of the division is going to be around 500. Now, maybe the Yankees will prove me wrong, but we'll see.
But we just got an interesting little. We got beat up this week, John. Yankees got beat up a little bit. Mets got beat up a little bit. And that's right. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. I don't think you're fine.
I'm not.
But
I'm not. I'll admit it. I've had enough. I've had absolutely enough.
It's May 2nd.
You've
had enough.
Oh, I've had enough of the way they're doing this. I've had enough.
Do you know how many quotes we're going to be able to pull from episode 6 of Station to Station if the Yankees win the World Series this year?
Well, I hope you do. I really hope you do. That
I just don't like that I wouldn't be able to operate the soundboard, and I'm going to have all these amazing quotes of you being like, fire,
you can work this
fire Boone, fire Cashman, and then he's going to win like Executive of the Year or some stupid shit.
He will not win Executive of the Year. I promise you that. He will not be winning any.
This guy stinks.
All right, I want to kind of talk a little bit around the league with you though, John, because we're getting a feel of what we're looking at right this year. You got a month under our belt. You got a couple teams, man, just throughout Major League Baseball that are really, really surprising. And I don't think there's any team more surprising. Maybe you'll disagree than what we're seeing out of Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's been great.
I feel like we just got to comment on I kind of thought the Pittsburgh Pirates are just going to be like this team that got off to a hot start and they were like a fun story. But do you think the Pittsburgh Pirates have staying power? You think they're actually going to hang around?
I don't think so.
You think they're a playoff team?
Maybe. Again, as we said, with the expanded wild cards, maybe.
Can I give you a couple teams and you tell me if they're going to make the playoffs?
All right, let's go.
All right, so let's start Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Pittsburgh, you think is a playoff team?
Yeah, I think they'll make a wild card.
Like 100%?
Yeah, I say they make a wild card.
I don't think they make the wild card.
Okay.
Arizona.
No.
You think they miss completely?
I think they miss completely.
What do you think about the Padres?
They have a lot of talent there, a lot, and they can go off. It might be just a matter of time when. We've all been waiting now kind of for 2 years. But last year in the postseason, they did show us a little bit of what they can be when they're firing. I like San Diego, and the reason why I said no to Arizona is because I think you get San Diego and LA out of that division.
What about St. Louis starting 10-19?
It's been a disappointment, huh? No one had that one. No one had that. Now, I think St. Louis is
How
a
about the
good
White
team.
Sox too? The White Sox and the Cardinals have both just, if they could restart their season tomorrow, I think they both would. Fucking White Sox are 8-21
early on. If you go back, I like Chicago. But St. Louis, I think they come back. I don't think they're dead.
You think they make the playoffs?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I think.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Do you tell me if this is a fair thing to say? I think the Milwaukee Brewers are
the biggest perennial disappointment.
No. Oh wow, we were going to be way off.
Yeah, no,
I think the Milwaukee Brewers are the Tampa Bay Rays of light. Like where they just always look like they're not going to be good and not have guys. And like you just look at them right now, they're eight games over 500. It's like I'm looking at the Brewers going into the season, and I was looking at the Rays kind of going into the season, being like, "There's not enough here. There's not enough here to do anything meaningful." And both teams just cruising. They have great managers, both teams.
Yeah,
and they just do
at
well.
Least Tampa Bay has made it, to a couple World Series now. 08 in the pandemic year, 2020. Milwaukee, they just always disappoint. They always disappoint when you buy into them. But to your credit, yes, how they outprove expectations, I'll give them that. They are similar to Tampa.
All right, I'll give you a couple AL teams here before we wrap this up.
All right.
Baltimore Orioles 19-9 right now.
Yes, they make the playoffs.
Yeah, you think we're seeing playoff baseball in Baltimore again?
I do. I think they get a wild card. I don't think you'll see it in Baltimore, but I think they get a wild card and they'll be
all right. So they're losing the wild card.
Yeah, they'll be on the road in the wild card.
Let's go Texas Rangers 17-11. Jacob deGrom. Well, I guess that's his team, even though we might not see him pitch for a while.
Here's the thing: I think Texas misses, and the reason why I say Texas misses, well, it's a numbers game. I think you have Tampa Bay. I think you have Baltimore, Toronto, and maybe the Yankees coming out of the AL East. Okay, you're gonna have Minnesota out of the Central. And then where does that leave Texas? They got to beat off Houston. Now, really why this series, the 4-game set in Texas was so big against the Yankees and why you really wanted to split that series was, and oh my God, what an egg they laid on Sunday, by the way. They lost 15-2 to Texas.
Stay with me. Stay with me. You're all right.
Oh my God.
Stay with me.
But you're going to have Texas probably battling it out with the Yankees at this point for that last wild card spot. So I think that's what it comes down to. Can Texas beat off an AL East team? And
I don't think Seattle's gone. I know what they lost Robbie Ray for the year, but I'm not going to sleep on Seattle yet.
I don't like Seattle. A lot of people are high on them. I'm not as hot. No.
Isn't that a movie? Sleeping in Seattle?
Sleepless.
What is it?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle, not sleeping.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Who's in it?
I don't know who is in it.
Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah.
Just him?
The other woman too.
Winona Ryder?
No. What?
When I hear other woman, I immediately go Winona Ryder.
What? Why is that your go-to?
It depends on the time frame. If you're talking early 2000s, that's not a bad strategy, to be honest with you.
When did that movie come out?
Like 96, 97?
All right, yeah.
Did he just make that up? Is anyone looking this up?
I'll look it up now, but
I'm a little pre-Winona Ryder.
I saw it on the plane a few weeks ago. I said
overrated. It's an overrated movie, and you don't remember it?
Yeah. Well, because it's a really weird movie, and it's not that good.
1993.
93, yeah. It's what's the lead act? Meg Ryan. That's who it is.
Meg Ryan. Hey, let me tell you something.
Ooh, Meg Ryan's scary looking now. Oof.
Okay, let's not shame people. All right.
Well, you don't want to shame Meg Ryan on these airwaves?
Father time doesn't do anyone any pleasures, all right?
How much
All right,
drugs is Meg Ryan on?
Let's put a bag over it. And talking about putting a bag over it.
Oh my God.
Have you seen the news? All right, we're gonna show Meg Ryan here.
It's not coming up clean. I'm sorry. Hey, this is bad. This is bad for the podcast. I tried to put up a photo of Meg Ryan. I'm sorry. Put a bag over it. John, what were you gonna say? Hit me.
How about this news over the weekend? Cohen was looking into putting a retractable roof on Citi Field.
I don't think it happens.
No,
I know.
it's
I don't.
not.
I don't want to put a rain on the segment.
No.
Don't think it's gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen. But the fact that he was looking into it, you think Hal Steinbrenner's looking into that? No.
Are we in the trust tree?
Yeah.
I don't want to upset you, and I feel like I'm gonna upset you.
All right.
I think I'm a bad sports fan or Mets fan or New York fan, whatever you want to use here. Whenever you say Steinbrenner, I don't know which one's dead and which one's the new guy in charge.
Oh, Jesus.
George is dead. Hal's in charge, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
It gets me every time.
Yeah, we're doing this isn't, Scooter and the Big Guy, okay? This is station to station. This is station to station podcast. We do Yankees too. We do a little bit of both.
I've been trying. I even said I was a Yankee fan. I love Clay Holmes.
Yeah. Okay.
Aaron Hicks, the Kalefa guy. I like him.
IKF.
You do you miss Gio? Urshela?
Urshela, I mean,
that guy seemed like, I think that's your version of Wilmer Flores. That guy seemed to love being a Yankee.
Compared to what they have right now, yeah, I miss Gio. At the time, I didn't mind the trade, so I'm not going to act like it was in that regard, that was bad. I think bringing on Donaldson was bad, though. That was a high risk, but you just gotta eat that now and release the guy. That's a completely different story.
All right, John, we want to say something sweet and maybe do a little bit of a look ahead here.
Yeah, you got something sweet for me? Something real?
Yeah, I could give you one, I guess. I could be nice if you want me to be nice. You want me to be nice?
Oh yeah, sure, try.
If I'm nice, I'm basic though. I feel like when you said let's do a segment called Something Sweet, you were trying to bait me into being mean. I don't think you actually want me to be nice.
I'm gonna say something nice about the Mets.
Garrett Cole is gonna win AL Cy Young Award. That was not clear English.
I know.
He's gonna win the AL Cy Young Award.
Okay.
Carlos Rendon is going to win Comeback Player of the Year next year because he's not going to throw a pitch this year. So that's my two.
Hey, at this point, I'll sign up for next year because who the hell knows him? This is.
Or you think about next year. Classic Yankee fan, always focused on next year.
Yeah, because when are we good? When do we ever have a reason to believe in the team this year?
God, I fucking hate Yankee fans. I really hate you fucking guys. It's not that bad. You guys will be like 25 games over 500 in first place, and you guys will be like, God, I'm going to kill myself. I'm like, it's never that deep.
Yeah, you're like the annoying guy who's been in a car accident, and now everything someone else goes through, you'll be like, well, it's not as bad as when I went through my car accident.
I went through a car
my
accident.
Back still bothers me to this day.
I went through a car accident for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years I was in a car accident. I got in a car accident every year for 20 years. And you're trying to bitch about a fender bender that you got in a Target parking lot.
Oh,
fuck you. I needed a new car every year for 20 years and you needed a new bumper.
That's great. I'm glad. But you know what? You're out of the car now. You're sitting on your couch. Meanwhile, I'm getting rear-ended in the ass by a semi-truck. Truck. This is just because you went through something doesn't mean I can either. Don't invalidate my feelings, Brian.
Say something sweet.
All right, here's something sweet for the Mets this week. Hey, here's what I love about Cohen. This goes to everything I'm going to complain about with the Yankees. Cohen sees there's a problem, and he addresses it, and he fixes it. Unlike the Yankees who see there's a problem and just act like it doesn't exist. But what I'm talking about is the atrocious patches that they put on the Mets sleeve. Now, we talked about it a little bit in last week's episode.
Conspiracy theory.
Right. But hey, he got it done. Look at the new patch. Look, how beautiful is that new patch? It's
I like
perfect.
it. Yeah, it actually looks nice.
It doesn't, distract from the uniform. It blends in. You barely even notice it. It almost looks like one of the nonsense things that MLB slaps on them anyway, every now and then to celebrate an anniversary or something. It's great. They hit it. They hit a home run there with a sponsor, and they're getting their money. We don't care as fans in that regard. Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. It's great.
I will tell him you said that.
Go ahead.
Well,
ask him if he wants to buy the Yankees too while he's at it.
we don't need a minor league affiliate. Thank you.
Oh, shut the fuck
Oh,
up.
no. This is supposed to be a nice segment.
Oh, sorry. That wasn't sweet. Sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
Hand up. I was sorry.
Good.
You want to give us a look ahead who the Mets got? I know who the Mets got, but I mean, I like when you tell me who the Mets got.
Listen, the Mets absolutely messed up their homestand, as Brian mentioned. They could have used that retractable roof this weekend, but they didn't. So anyway, Mets are now on the road in Detroit for a short 3-game series, while the Yankees are home. Then they come home for a nice little weekend series against Colorado. It's always a nice feel when you got Colorado in the building. Weekend series in Flushing. I don't know why. Those Mets usually do pretty all right there. But then they hit the road for a lengthy road trip, 3 in Cincinnati and 4, a weekend wraparound series in Washington. Yankees, listen, we've been over this, all right? Here it comes. Here it comes. Off to the executioner. We finished. The Yanks win tonight. They are a game apiece to play the rubber game against Cleveland tomorrow night. That game's on Prime just to piss you off even more if you're not, annoyed enough with the Yankees series before going on the road to play Tampa Bay at the Trop, Oakland for a little charity series, and then you have Tampa Bay and Toronto 4-game series each. And even after that, they get their teeth kicked in by Toronto on the 18th. They still got to go out to Cincinnati just to add insult to injury for a weekend series against the Reds, including another real kick to the groin, the 11:35 a.m. Peacock game.
Ugh.
Sunday the 21st, right? Oh, that's what a friggin' way that's going to be. At that point, when the Peacock game comes on, the Yankees may be in double digits behind first place. They may be at an all-time low, and I got
all right. Put the soapbox away. Jesus Christ.
How more annoyed do I have to get? Here's the thing, right?
True.
I'm at a point right now where if after this weekend, next week, I may not have any of this energy for you. I might be just thinking rationally.
You have the sound machine, so you're fine.
Good. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be. It's a good thing, actually, I have the sound machine this year. Because I'm probably going to need it all summer long. I'll be twiddling my damn thumbs otherwise.
In between now and next Tuesday, can you just get your blood pressure checked just to make sure you're okay? Because I would feel really bad if something happens to you because you're just getting really worked up on me.
Let me tell you something. In that opening monologue,
don't tell me anything.
I thought I was going to faint.
I know. I saw you. There's a moment, and only the people who are going to watch this episode on YouTube Live might have seen the moment. You're mid monologue, and all the breath left your body, and you paused and grabbed your Orange Crush, took a big swig of Orange Crush, and then we're like, okay, I'm ready. And then you kept going, and you still didn't give yourself enough of a breath.
Oh no, that I was just, my throat was killing me at that point.
I don't know if Orange Crush is the solution to a sore throat, though.
No, I think a bigger glass of it would be, though.
Also, I'm sorry, Orange Soda, no free ads.
Come on now.
Unless Crush wants to sponsor, then it's Crush.
Yeah. All right. The offer's out there.
Gotta play devil's advocate here.
Fanta, listen, you got competition.
What if Fanta offers it, though?
Well, then don't you want to?
Okay. All right.
I'll listen. I have no allegiance.
No, we don't. We could be bought. Every single thing about us can be bought.
Absolutely. Yeah. I will be on TV selling tampons tomorrow if you give me enough money.
All right. Well, episode 6 of Station to Station really was a great time.
Oh my God.
Yep. John, why don't you tell us about the social medias that they could all follow and take us out of this episode and home for the
All right,
remainder. I don't know.
episode
Just I'm gonna stop talking.
It was a silly one for us. A little bit of therapy. Felt like therapy for me at times too.
I didn't like it.
You're not supposed to. It's supposed to be hard.
Oh,
That's what she
That's
said.
what she said.
there you go.
Yeah.
Little slow in the draw.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, a little
we're-
slow, but you
Now,
got it.
Now, I also want to say this: we're having fun with the soundboard today. We're not going to be as obnoxious with it going forward. It's going to complement. It's not going to be the only thing. With that said, we hope you enjoyed episode 6, Station to Station. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, S2 Station Pod. Subscribe on YouTube. Ring that notification bell to get notifications when we post new content, because we post new content all the time, including instant reactions. That's going to be S2 Station Pod, same as the socials there as well, too. For Brian Sarnelli and Pat Lavin, I'm John Presapio. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.